Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Sister Wives, season 19, episode 577. It just feels like that.
Finished? Are we almost done?
Yeah. Sorry, season 19, episode 28. I
don't know. It's the tell-all part 3.
Yeah, the one-on-ones part 3. And I know I felt like of all the episodes that we've watched thus far, this to me felt like the most tell nothing. I mean, and this is the part that just drives me bonkers, is how much they focus on things that are really not as important as other things, right? Like this wasn't this episode, but the last one, I was thinking about this, how much Suki kept asking about Janelle and why she didn't want to. Do you think you'll be friends with Kody and Robin? Do you think this? Do you think that? It's like, no.
Yeah.
No,
I could have told you that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, even if Janelle said to us all, said, yeah, sure, I'd get together with them. We all know that's a lie. We all know where she stands. So why does she need, right? So, but why do we need to talk about this? Like, that's very clear. But there's all these other things that are kind of hazy that it would be nice if you guys cleared up. So I don't know. It's just, this is it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to watch. And I'm so done with Kody. I'm so sick of him.
Yeah, I know. I hope that the last one on, no, they're not. What are they calling them?
They're calling them one-on-ones.
Okay. I hope the last one has at least something juicy, something,
or give us some bloopers. I'll take that at this point. Do you know what I mean? Or some highlights, or like a song playing over some clips. I mean, just anything. But Kody lecturing me, or Kody speaking down to everybody, and or Robin acting like she is
too cool for school.
Yeah. It's very annoying.
I know. I'm over it. I really am. But I keep waiting. I keep waiting for something, some golden nugget to drop.
Yes.
So but it's sort of interesting just in terms of the timing of this. Okay, so this is recorded in October of 2024, and I guess this is about a month after Christine filed her custody and child support case.
Yes.
So that probably has something to do with Kody's attitude. He's worked up, I'm sure. And maybe it has something to do with how Robin is just sort of pissed off, it seems like, and just doesn't care anymore. Like, she's not even trying, none of the crying or wishing things were, better, or they could still live plural marriage. She's just kind of like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's over. And I'm sure she's pissed off about it. And I'm sure she's pissed off about Kody having to pay child support, because there's also a comment that's made later in the episode about how, because of all of this, like, the younger kids are somehow not getting it as much as the older kids did, which is ridiculous. The older kids lived in poverty for most of their lives.
Yeah.
So, well, whatever.
I know. And that whole thing, I mean, it's so weird how, again, Kody moves things around to work for his own narrative. But, this whole idea of you're a father of 18 kids. You've got to know by now that life isn't fair, that it isn't fair, that how Daddy Logan is treated and how Ariella is treated is always going to be radically different.
Yeah.
And that is just life. I mean, our mother, she has 2 sisters. They're all 10 years apart in age. So our mother was in college when her younger sister was born. And so, each of them had
very different lives.
They lived very different lives. Our mother lived when our grandfather was in medical school. And then the youngest one, he was already a doctor. You know what I mean? It's very different.
Yeah.
So it's just that stuff. It just bugs me. It's just like no awareness of it. But what I find fascinating about Robin is that all of the tears are gone. Like, you're no longer sad about this at all. And I really was hoping that Suki would have said something like, "Listen, you process your emotions, you cry a lot. What's happened?"
Mhm.
And now it's this attitude of, well, I can't believe they're still talking about all this stuff. I can't believe like she's with her new husband talking about Kody and luggage racks and all this other kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, thank God. Robin, do you not understand how this reality show works? Do you
Mhm.
not understand this process? And it's just like you don't deserve this reality show money
She's not
because
working for
you're
it.
not
She's
working for it. That's
sitting
how it
there.
works. So you want this show to be watching you paint um some benches and talk about
Mhm.
how you don't feel safe? Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
so now that you've just dropped all of this, yeah, what we're so next season we're just gonna watch you guys in your new home,
Mhm.
what, just bebopping around.
Yeah.
I mean,
Again, how much is that mortgage a month? You need the
yeah,
show.
you gotta bring something.
I mean, unless people have said like apparently her father or stepfather has money or something, there may be money in that family. Maybe that's true. Maybe she doesn't. But again, they didn't have enough money to help you with your debts when you got divorced the first time. So, okay.
Mhm.
But you do need this paycheck
Mhm.
and you need these women to talk about this stuff.
Mhm.
And so to act like I am so much better than them because they're talking about these things, it's just it's like then
Yeah, it's like that
leave.
she wants everyone to keep her name out of their mouth,
Yeah,
but yet she
okay,
wants to okay, well then I guess you can't be part of the show if
yeah,
no one can talk about you
yeah.
because
Don't be on TV.
what's the point?
Yeah, you don't get to have it both ways.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, well, let's
Yeah.
start we start with Coyote Pass.
Mhm.
And Mary talks about this tension of trying to figure out how to break up the parcels. Um, and I think it was Mary who said, because Suki's like, "What's going on? What's so hard?" And Mary's like, "Listen, I think we haven't proven to each other that we can trust each other, that we haven't really had each other's backs for a while, that we have been um, separated, and
Mhm.
nobody knows where anybody is." Um, so I don't know.
Well, and then Cody says, I love this. Janelle asks me about the property all the time, but I don't trust her, so I don't give her any information. I
Hmm.
mean, does he not does okay, these women's money went into this and their name is on the title,
Hmm.
and he acts like they are just
Yeah.
bugging him about this. And then they show him with the realtor. He's trying to control this sale, telling the
Mhm.
realtor to only talk to him, which is unethical for the realtor. I mean, they are on the title. If you're going to
Mhm.
convey an offer, someone wants to make an offer on the property, you've got to convey it to all the owners.
Yeah.
And that guy, I think his name is Justin, the realtor. I'm looking at his face and he's kind of looking at Cody looking very uncomfortable because he knows that this is not right.
Yeah, which also makes me wonder, is what happened in real time after that? Did Justin then say, "Hey, Cody, you can't do it this way. Let me explain that to you." And then did the production cut it out?
Mm,
Right? Because there is always
probably.
this talk of how close is Cody with the producer
Right.
and how much do they protect Cody? And that's the part when you watch the show, you can see that, oh, yeah, maybe you're protecting him. And then other times it feels a little bit like, we're just going to show you everything. You kind of figure it
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, unless the producer and Cody are so delusional that all of those scenes of him and Cody, Wyoming, were a good idea. I
Mhm.
mean, that's how crazy all these people are.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and Cody tells the camera, they don't legally have to agree, even though they are partners on the other lots. It's just a matter of getting their permission. N- And again, yes, they do have to legally agree if their name is on the parcel.
mhm,
I mean,
yeah.
ugh, just
Well, and
drives me
so Suki
nuts.
asks, I think it was to Mary about how like the parcels were broken up and
Mhm.
did she said, "Well, did you why was this broken up this way?" And Mary's like, "I don't know." And Mary's admitting this now because she wasn't admitting it before, which is I would ask them about it and I would get in trouble with Robin and Kody.
Yeah.
Anytime I asked or tried to press, I would get into trouble. Again, this is what they do in cults. You I mean, I'm dead serious, right? And controlling things. You start to question the minute you start to question, you know,
Yeah, what's
how
happening.
fair
Yeah.
are things,
Yeah.
and you know, speaking truth to what's really going on, you're in
Mhm.
trouble and you're shut down.
Yeah,
So,
another gem just before we move on,
oh
was
yeah,
something Cody said, when he was with the realtor. He tells the camera, he says, "I see it very differently than those complaining about the money. I can add up all the things that were paid by somebody else for something."
hmm
Okay. I mean, just those complaining about the money. And he really, he and Robin, they just feel entitled to all of this.
yeah, they do. They feel very well. This is what Janelle says. She says, "I also asked him about Coyote Pass," and Janelle says Cody thinks he's entitled to more.
Mhm.
He is inherent. Was he the one that's? Did she? Was it
Yeah,
Christine
she
or
did.
Janelle that said he was inherently selfish?
Yeah.
He's inherently
Um,
selfish. He wants to always come out ahead. He
yeah,
always wants to come out on top.
Janelle said that he does. He's always coming out ahead of financially and always looking out for himself and Robin
Mhm.
and feeling entitled. And Janelle says, "Who's looking out for me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your lawyer, hopefully.
Yeah.
They finally did get a lawyer. I guess we never saw them, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and then
Christine pipes in and says he's not a very fair person, very greedy when it comes down to money. He takes care of himself and Robin.
mhm.
So I thought that was interesting that
Yeah.
I've never heard them talk so bluntly
Yes.
about this.
Yes. Christine has gone way on to the other side. She has 0 Fs to give
Mhm.
about any of it. She is so happy to trash them. I think Janelle and Meri are tiptoeing a little bit more because
Mhm.
they're connected to this, to all of this, to Coyote Pass and all of that. But yeah, again, it's just a classic narcissistic move to even though you contributed money and your name's on this, I decide how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I get to decide that. And it's like, no, it's
Yeah.
not how it works.
Christine basically said that Cody has never been transparent
Mhm.
about money, that the wives never knew what each other was getting, in terms of money. Um,
Mhm.
except Janelle says she saw it all. But okay, she says Cody and Robin were taking more than anyone else, spending family money on quote unquote assets. Well, Janelle, why didn't you speak up like a long
Yeah.
time ago?
Yeah, like why didn't you get with Mary and Christine the minute you saw this and said, "We got to band together."
Yeah.
Why not? That's the part I didn't quite understand, and I think that that was the other thing too is I think Cody had a lot of hold on them.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, Christine talks about sort of, or Janelle is like the love bombing and then coming back and the love
Right.
bombing. I think that when these things would come up, I think Janelle would bring it up. But instead of going directly to Mary um and Christine, she would go to Cody and Cody would,
Yeah. Sweet talker.
sweet talk her, sell her a bill of goods, and then move on along. And that's that other part too, right? In cults, they make everyone, go against each other. And there is this other part of it too, which is it seems a little bit like the moment Janelle showed up, it was she and Mary, right, started to have issues. And
Mhm.
were you allowing them to get along? Were you facilitating them getting along, or were you facilitating them fighting?
Mhm.
And is this maybe how you've always made it so that these women wouldn't be friendly with each
Right. And
other? Like,
compare notes.
yes,
He did
yes,
not want them comparing notes.
yes. And that's a big thing because this is what these guys, they don't want comparison.
Mhm.
They can't,
Yeah, they have to hide. They have to hide. So he pits them against each other, and he's like, "Well, don't talk to Mary about this, and don't tell Janelle that or whatever, and because this and that, and just manipulating."
So yeah, then Suki's like, well, they are, the women are saying that they don't trust you. And Cody's like, what? He takes his new thing now is it's because they want alimony. They
Mhm.
want alimony. So Janelle and Mary, they want alimony. And, you know, Again, okay. Is that the end of I mean, these women were married to you for a
Yeah,
long,
they
long
they
time. Is that
do
wrong?
deserve it. Maybe
They
not legal, just because they legally can't get it doesn't mean that you don't owe them
yeah.
something.
Doesn't mean that they contributed and doesn't mean that, they weren't part of this. And so, and then he goes into that whole thing about like, no one is helping us with the younger children. Nobody's helping us with the younger children. Essentially, you're talking about two kids
Mhm.
who seem to be doing just fine. So what money are you talking about that so
Yeah.
you expect Christine or Janelle or Mary to support these two young children? Isn't that Robin's obligation? Isn't it each
Mhm.
wife's obligation to figure out what the kids need and then and you divide it up fairly?
Well, that's the only reason that Robin and Cody wanted all of them to stay, was to
Mhm.
just keep contributing money.
Yeah.
Because, Robin's kids need things. They need a nice big house because they're never leaving home,
Mhm.
and they need this and they need that. And um Cody's talking about how he made sure that all the older kids he contributed to their cars or whatever. They bought him, like, a $2,000 used car.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what they could afford. But I mean, yeah, when you have 18 kids, that's pretty hard. But then he says the first corporate paycheck. So I guess what they're talking about is the first check from TLC.
Yeah.
Robin saw nothing. And when they bought the houses, Robin's kickback went to other family members. So what does that mean? Like,
I
did
don't
they
know. I didn't know if that was Vegas or if that was Flagstaff.
I think he's talking about Vegas, because when they bought the houses. And so it sounds to me like TLC gave them each some sort of kickback, as he's calling it, which is, I mean, they didn't buy the house outright for them, but
Mhm.
I think they gave them each X amount of dollars towards the
Mhm.
house. And he's
In
saying that
Vegas.
in Vegas, and that her share went to other family members. That's quite an
Okay.
accusation. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. He's just rambling. You can tell he's real angry and amped up in
Mhm.
this money discussion scene, and he is just throwing out all of these accusations. And yeah, and he says everyone helped with the older children, getting them cars, getting them through school. Well, we know Mary has said she paid for Leon's
Mhm.
education. Now there's nothing left for the younger children. I
Well,
mean,
then here's a crazy idea. Why don't you 2 go get jobs?
yeah.
Or I don't know,
Or downsize.
keep
Or
working at the job that you have now or hustle
right.
for some cameos. I mean, I just love how they act like so what? These people are supposed to keep contributing into you get to take all
Right.
of Coyote Pass? Like
Forever.
it makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that this whole thing, this whole divorce, angst about the divorce from Cody and Robin is purely about money.
Mhm. I'm sure it is.
Purely.
I do.
That they don't care about these women if they're there or not, for any other reason but for money.
Mhm. Yeah. So then, yeah, we hear from Janelle who says, we used to, meaning pre-Robin. The other thing is I want to
Mhm.
say when Cody was talking about how Robin didn't make any money from the first corporate paycheck, she wasn't in the family yet.
No, she
Don't
was.
forget, don't forget Christine's the one that facilitated and created this relationship with these producers. Then you
Mhm.
all decided to do the show and that you were happened to be, I think the courting was happening around the same time. She
Mhm.
was not a member of this family. So please don't get it twisted that somehow she made some huge sacrifice.
No,
But
she
it's like,
wasn't on the contract.
no.
She was not on the contract. She was just there because she was there. She was courting Cody.
Mhm.
But yeah, if people don't know this, yeah, Christine was working for some kind of organization that was trying to work at getting polygamists portrayed in a better light in the
Yeah.
media or something.
Mhm.
And she actually hooked up the family with this production company who was
Yeah.
trying to find a family. They had this idea to follow a polygamous family. And of course, Cody was all over that, to be
Oh
on
yeah.
TV. And I think it was just coincidence. Robin just happened to be
Mhm.
there.
When's Christine's book coming out? September? October?
September.
Oh, I
September.
cannot wait. I hope she spills every last piece of tea and she goes all in. I really
Yeah.
do. I hope she
Well,
talks about all
because
of it.
typically they start these this has been a long season, but, because there was a break in the middle there, but typically they start, the new season of Sister Wives in August,
Mhm.
maybe early September.
Hmm.
If her book's coming out in September, I wonder either she timed it that way for, like, the new season, or maybe do you think is this her last season? You think she's coming back?
Oh.
And she just timed the book to come out because she's
No,
not coming back?
I don't I get what you're saying. I don't think the new season's gonna come out then. I don't think we're gonna get a new season until 2026.
Mm,
That would be
yeah.
my guess, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't quite even understand why this season was as long as, you know what I mean, or why they took the break, or
Mhm.
any of it. I really don't know.
Hmm.
Um Anyway, so we go through this whole thing about, Mary talking about how much she's contributed, which I would love to get a forensic accountant in and just get them to break it all down, because I would love to be able to see the numbers of how much Mary contributed versus Robin versus Christine,
I
you
think
know?
Mary contributed the most
Yeah,
because
I do too.
she got in on LuLaRoe, like, very early. I think she has a huge downline,
Mhm.
and, she just hustled. She's a
Yeah.
hustler, and she didn't have kids at home. She had a lot
Mhm.
of time to,
Yeah.
and so I think it was her for sure.
Yeah. So, and then of Cody's like, "Hey, it'll all be fine in the end. You know, Sex and money, they are sacred cows." I don't know why we keep talking about sacred cows. But now they are on the table. And he kind of makes this almost this thing of like, when we started the show, we told you we weren't going to talk about sex and we
Mhm.
weren't going to talk about money, and now this is all we're talking about. And but when it comes to marriage, yeah, that's it. It's
That's
sex
what
and
it's
money.
about.
It really is. It's about, because those things are the basis of sex, meaning how much are you paying attention to me? How much are you,
Mhm.
making me feel satisfied and seen? That's one part of
Mhm.
marriage. And then the other part of it is, how are you supporting me?
Mhm.
How are we supporting each other to live our lives? That's
Mhm.
everything. So,
But then
no. Yeah.
but he goes on to keep talking about money,
Yes.
and he says, "No one understood the bookkeeping. We were all entangled with each other in this strange way. The debts hadn't been paid and they had to be paid. Janelle didn't handle the debts properly. She had
Ooh.
too much influence on our money." So now
Which is a lie.
he's throwing Janelle under the bus.
Yes.
She wasn't paying the bills, and she's saying, "No, I was just, keeping the records. Cody told me what bills to
Mhm.
pay or who
Because
to
I
pay or
don't
what."
I don't think Cody has saved for anything in his life, and I think that's the problem.
Mhm.
Is that these you guys for a long, long time did not have a lot of money. I think that if Cody wanted something, he was never going to save up for it. And I think what he's really alluding to is, I was constantly moving money around, and I
Mhm.
never knew where it was coming from or where it was going, and we never ever had enough. And so that's the creative bookkeeping that he's referring to. And but yeah. I mean, Janelle's like, "Yeah, we didn't have a lot of money, so we just spent the money where we needed to." But it sounds like he was always doing kind of weird things. And it sounds like what Janelle was saying was, like, he would see large chunks of money gone in the account, and she would just kind of have to deal. And then
Hmm.
anytime Christine or maybe Robin or Mary complained, he would blame it on Janelle.
Hmm.
I don't know.
There, and thereby further contributing to the bad relationships
Yes.
that these he did not
Yes.
again, he did not want them to have good relationships.
Because Mary said that she was under the impression that it was always Janelle making the financial decisions.
Mhm.
And Sukanya asks her, "How do you know that?" She's like, "Well, Cody and Robin told me that. They told me that she's the one making the decisions." And I don't think Mary's lying about that at all.
Mhm.
So obviously you guys are liars.
Yeah.
Big fat liars.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are, and this is all coming together, making a lot of sense now, because if you're feeling like I'm not getting enough money or my needs are not being met, and then Cody saying, "Well, it's because Janelle,
Yeah.
she's really bad with money and she's not spending the money right, and that's why we don't have any money."
Or Janelle thinks that we should spend money on my new car, my new Janelle feels like it's a priority
Yeah,
that I have a new convertible.
yeah,
I mean, he could, or not that blatant, but like he could be finessing it that way too.
right.
So, yeah, Cody blamed her for everything. And this is where Janelle talks about, she's like, yeah, he attacks us where it hurts. He
Mm,
knows exactly where to attack it. Christine, it was all about being loved and her looks and
mhm,
wanted and desire. For me,
mhm.
it was about being fiscally responsible and being together. I don't know what the Mary one was. I don't know what Mary's was.
I can't
I mean, maybe
remember.
Mary's was about, everyone's mentioned always loyalty.
Loyalty,
You
yeah.
know, maybe it was that, like, not
Yeah.
calling her loyal if anytime she wasn't happy.
Well, because he really took that, because after the catfishing thing, he had a big,
Mhm.
you know, hammer to hammer her with this
Oh, yeah.
loyalty thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she had been, quote, unquote, "mean" before. So he had that, remember? Because he gave her that list of things she had to do before the catfishing.
Mhm. Right.
And you know what? Robin has learned a new phrase, recency bias.
Oh, yes, Cody, I think, taught her that phrase because
Yes.
he used it recently.
Mhm. Yes. So, yeah, well, Christine says nothing but nasty things about Cody. She's like, Cody knows how to push anybody's buttons. He can't take accountability. And Robin goes, no, no, no. I think this is all recency bias. There's a lot of history being rewritten. I'm like, yeah, by you two. Um, and she makes this claim of like everyone's getting even with each other, trashing each other. But because you're not doing it at all, you're so above
Mm.
all of this. And, again, what trashing Cody would be is he sucked in bed. He this big, like being like that's a way to trash him. Absolutely. You could try,
Yeah.
or he's
His
this exact,
looks or his
or
yeah.
even there are a million things you could trash him about, but and we can talk about the luggage cart when we get there, but like the luggage rack, that wasn't trashing him. It's a symbol of
Yeah,
how
it's a
they
fact.
felt
Yeah.
in the relationship.
Yeah. Well, and also, Robin doesn't need to trash talk other people because she has Cody to do it for her.
Yes.
So she can just sit there all demure
Mhm.
and, "I don't care. Whatever."
Well, also,
Mm.
if your needs are being met, what do you need to
Yeah.
trash?
Right.
That's what they're saying. Your needs, that's the thing. Your needs were being met. And again, and what Cody always wants to bring it back to is they're jealous because I fell in love with Robin. I fell in
Mhm.
love with her and we are so in love and blah blah. It's like you guys really need to shove this down our throats so much
Mhm.
about how much in love you are. But anyway, um, so she oh, sorry, I got distracted. About each other's love and how much they need to prove to each other that they love each other. But that's the part. This is the part I think that that's truly cruel about Robin is that not for one moment as a woman she could not stop and think to herself, you know, yeah, that must have been really hard for Christine to hear
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
to experience that, or yeah, I feel very lucky because yeah, he's giving these things to
Yeah.
me.
She has no empathy.
She has no empathy. Zip, zero. Anyway, so this is where Janelle talks about the cycle of love bombing and then the wind down. And she's like, well, I'm not a doctor, but since the internet has diagnosed him with narcissism, and he pretty much checks every box. I mean, personally, I mean, again, I don't know if you would diagnose him as like narcissistic personality disorder, but he certainly has a hell of a lot of the traits.
Mhm.
So, anywho,
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this I thought was interesting. So then Christine talks about how just this realization over the years of realizing like what kind of marriage do I have? And she
Mhm.
says, I didn't think of our relationship as being just surface level all the time before Robin. And then I
Mm.
saw what real intimacy was.
Mhm.
And um yeah,
Yeah.
it hit me that no, that's what I want. So of course, what are these women going to do? they're not going to go, well, fine, I'm leaving this marriage. They have all these kids, their whole livelihood, everything's interconnected to staying in the family.
Right.
So, of course, their reaction is going to be to try to figure out how to get what Robin has,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. No, it's like Christine had no idea what it meant to be in love,
Mhm.
and what any of that meant to be have a romantic relationship, be desired, nothing.
Mhm.
And I think, is this where she says they had sex like 5 times a year
Yeah, she
at
said it was
best?
it was apathetic sex life, marital
Mm.
obligation. Sex was never good.
Mm.
Because I'm sure Cody, was doing the best he could thinking about Robin or thinking about something else and then God. Yeah.
Ugh,
And
that's
then yeah,
terrible.
she then said they had one conversation about it. And I think that was the conversation that was like she finally after 20 some odd years like puts together the courage to have this
Mhm.
uncomfortable conversation about something that I'm sure he's like constantly shut her down about.
Mhm.
It was like, no, we're not gonna, because
Yeah, the
w-
intimate marriage. She
yeah.
finally, yeah, confronted him with, "Are we ever gonna have an intimate marriage?"
Hmm.
And when she
And
first started saying that, I didn't really understand what she meant. Now I understand what she
oh,
means,
you
because
didn't know what she meant about the intimate
well,
marriage?
I didn't know that they literally had, like, no intimacy. I
Hmm.
just thought it meant that, like, they'd had no intimacy ever. I thought she meant that, things had progressively gotten worse over the years or something,
Hmm.
but they did at one point, because people were always talking about how, kind of cute and goofy and silly they were, and,
Hmm.
um Christine was fun, and you could even see it in some scenes where there was a few years
Yeah.
in there in Las Vegas where, they were kind of flirty and whatever. So I didn't realize that what she meant was they never had intimacy, like true intimacy,
Yes.
ever.
So they very rarely had sex, it sounds like, that part, but they didn't have, like, true intimacy, and
Yeah.
yes, and it sounds like she thought they had intimacy, she
Yeah, she didn't
thought
know
they were
anything
connected,
else. She didn't know any better.
and then she was like, "Oh, oh, okay." Um, yeah, yeah. So, and then we went through this whole thing with David and Christine where Christine's like, when she decided that the next person that she was going to be with, that she was definitely going to have sex with them before marriage, which good. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's what you should do.
You're no longer in this church. You're no
Yeah,
longer
you're not
I mean, you're 50 some odd years old and you
17.
have
Yeah.
6 kids.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to look at you sideways, Christine. And then we see all these scenes of Christine and David and kissing and making out. And, all of this whole section just warmed my heart. I swear to God, I teared up at one moment because when she said, what's the difference? And she's like, I feel confident. And David, and what you really realize is like, yeah, Cody, every time Christine like woke up and said, I have this idea to do X, Y, and Z, it sounds like Cody was like, yeah, that's stupid or that's dumb or you can't do that or whatever or
Mhm.
negative or gone. And
Mhm.
and what David said is he's like, yeah, I make her believe in herself. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
David, I love you.
See, David's the
I love
best. He's
David.
just a mensch. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but just the fact that he is so, again, I know some people don't particularly like him all that much, but I just think like he is a good
He's a
person.
good
He really is
person.
a good person and he obviously loves her. And it's like, yeah, I make her believe in herself. That's huge. That is huge, especially in a marriage. Like your partner has to be your champion.
Mhm.
If I had started this podcast and Steve's like, this is dumb, you shouldn't be doing this. This is stupid. I mean,
Mhm.
imagine that versus, him going, no, absolutely, I'll help you. Whatever you
Mhm.
need. So I just makes me so happy that she has him and that they're having a
Mhm.
great time. So
Yeah.
anyway, but she was, yes. And then this is where David said she was starving for affection.
Yes, we know, David. We know. We've
Yeah.
seen it.
I think he was, I think
He was too.
he
He had been
was
alone
too.
for a very long
Yeah.
time and single father. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was, I mean, I imagine because his wife, I think, had mental health issue his
Mhm.
former wife
Mhm.
had widow. He's a widower, right? So she had mental health issues, and I'm sure he felt that too. Maybe he never felt he could be close to her. I don't know.
Mhm.
So I'm just so happy for them. It's truly such luck that,
Mhm.
she definitely defied all of the statistics
Right.
of women, that age and coming out of a marriage and all of that. She really did. So,
Mhm.
anyway, all right. So, the next section is we have to talk about PDA.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Robin is okay with PDA, but I guess she was just saying that Cody's level of PDA and her level of PDA are very different because
Hmm.
I don't know. She didn't get into that, but I think we all know, like, she's a little bit more reserved, and Cody's like, licking crap.
She's shy. She's, his shy wife.
Yes, this very shy wife, and Cody's there licking lollipops and ice cream cones and God knows what else. Okay, so now here's the next part, right? The whole PDA thing.
Mhm.
Cody says, Janelle's mom, my stepmother, told me to cut out the PDA with Meri in front of Janelle. And so he basically says, we don't do this PDA, we never had it or we didn't do it because essentially it's not my fault. It's Janelle's mom's fault or Janelle's.
Yeah, which is yeah, so that's this set a precedent for the next,
Yes.
20 something years, and it's like, "Okay, wait a minute." I and Grandma Cheryl is not alive to defend herself here.
Yeah.
I kind of don't believe this story so much because why?
Yeah.
I don't know. And Grandma Cheryl came to this religion late. It's not like she'd grown up like fundamental, like super fundamentalist, whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like she had a life before. She was in the Mormon church, but I think she would have thought that it was healthy to express. I mean, obviously you
Mhm.
don't want to be like, you know, French kissing in front of her or whatever, but it's like you can't I mean, nothing, you know?
Well, and I think it sounds like based on the book and the Becoming Sister Wives book and what they're saying here is I get the sense that what happened was that he and Mary were very demonstrative, that they were like
Mhm.
sticking each other's tongues down each other's
Like
throats.
she was sitting on his lap and
And it did
yeah.
bother Janelle. And I would not be surprised if Grandma Cheryl had said, um, you know, hey, do you ever notice that maybe, she might have just through the back door kind of
Mhm.
pointed out. And I could see Cody being like, well, fine, I'm just gonna not do it anymore. Fine. Like any
Mm.
kind of criticism, any
Overreaction.
any
Yeah.
kind of feedback feels like criticism to him.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a very classic thing. When you can't take accountability for things and you can't take in on feedback, these things it always feels like a complaint
Mhm.
versus, hey, I've noticed, I'm noticing. How do you feel about that kind
Mhm.
of thing? So,
Yeah,
anywho,
that makes more sense.
but then Robin's like, well, I was told I needed to conform to this all happened before I got there, so I needed to conform to the family culture.
Yeah, she wanted some PDA.
Oh yeah, because she knew she was going to get it. you
Yeah.
know
She didn't have to worry about it.
yeah.
But God, can you
Oh.
imagine if they did have PDA? And then of course he's giving Robin more and then
Hmm.
you
Oh, hey,
know
Mary.
yeah, and Christine is not even looking at her. So that probably would have created a lot of problems because he wouldn't have been equal with it.
Yeah, I also think there's a certain amount of PDA, right? Like I cannot stand those couples that are like always making out, and you're like, we're having dinner. Like, can the
Well,
two
where
of
do you
you?
see I don't see like adults over the age of, 20 doing that. Where do you see people doing that like at dinner
Well,
parties? I don't. I
not so
mean,
much dinner parties, but I've had friends over the years that, I mean, obviously we were much younger. Everybody our age now, like the people that I get together with, like who are all 50 and above and have been
mhm.
married forever. No, there's not. I mean, people are affectionate, but there's none of that. But yeah, I mean, I remember like couples, again, they would kiss at dinner or, make out or do whatever. I mean, I've seen it.
Wow, I've never seen that. I mean,
Yeah.
people
And
maybe kiss like a quick little kiss, like a peck, but like full blown open mouth kissing, making out.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but I think there's a difference between, like, you and your partner are out for a romantic dinner, and maybe you might kiss and be affectionate with each other, just the 2 of you.
Mhm.
I'm talking about, like, there's other people here,
Mhm.
and you can keep your hands off of each other. Um,
Okay.
I don't
I just
know,
haven't seen that
during
in a
the
long
meal.
time. I haven't seen that since I was, like, in my 20s.
Well, anyway, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen a couple in a long time do that. I mean, maybe once you leave your 20s and 30s, it just doesn't happen anymore.
Mhm.
It's a young man's game.
It is.
Um, okay. Oh, okay. So what was this all about? Where Cody says the last time Robin and I had PDA, we were kicked out, but I can't talk about it.
Kicked out of where? I
And
mean,
then he said something until Janelle and Meri are married themselves, I won't show affection to Robin in front of them.
you don't even see them. So
Yeah, I don't know.
why is that
W-
even an issue?
So he alludes to the story. It sounds like he's saying that he and Robin, quote unquote, got in trouble. So I bet you anything at one of these weddings, one of these something that the two of them maybe were being super affectionate. And again, maybe someone came around and said, "Hey, you really think that's appropriate," or maybe they made a comment and he takes it as,
Mm.
well, fine, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Mhm.
Every time anybody ever gives him any feedback, anything, he's
Mhm.
just on them. So, but then I wrote this is a quote from Cody Brown that I'm trying to understand.
Mhm.
Because when true love is exposed, it calls down wrath. The world hates true love so much.
Wow.
Because when true love is exposed, it calls down wrath. So again, he's making this all about himself. Once they knew, so every every hurt, every bad decision, everything that you have ever done as a partner, as a husband, as a friend, Cody, you don't have to take accountability for any of it because you fell in love. And this is right. Like,
And it's
is
not
that what he's
his
saying?
fault that he fell
Yeah.
so deeply in love and that everyone's like yucking his yum, the
Yeah.
wrath. They're coming down on him like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare
How
you be
dare you
so in love?
demand information about a property that you put money into and your name's on the title? I'm in love. I'm
Yeah.
in love.
Yeah, don't bring your wrath down on me.
But yeah, basically, because this way, right? This way, again, no, he doesn't have to take accountability for
Mhm.
anything he's done because,
No.
and again, and this is the part that really bugs me is again, and it's so misogynistic because God forbid you, Cody, did not shine your light on these other women. So therefore, they are so depressed and unhappy that they don't get that Cody Brown loving anymore. They don't get you. That they now have created
Mhm.
all of this. That they're just a bunch of shrews that you know couldn't possibly at all imagine their life without you. I mean, this is really what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He's whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite full of himself.
All right. So do you have I keep talking a
No,
lot. Do you
keep
have
going.
notes? Okay.
No, keep going.
I'm just going through my notes. So then we get to Mary and she's talking about her relationship with Robin. And I think we get to see that moving day, which I wish Sukani had asked her, like,
Again?
did it piss you off? Did it piss you off that she did not help you at all move? She
Mhm.
comes in, dumps all of this crapola on you, and then you're moving and she gives you one more thing to pack.
Right. And she gives you that ugly junk journal that
Yeah.
apparently retails for like, on Etsy for like 150 or $200.
Are you
Yes.
serious? Oh
Yeah,
my
like because they're
God.
custom made and uh another podcaster went on there on Etsy and yeah, looked up.
I think did we talk about this before? I think we did. I think Amy on Little Miss Recap was the one that I saw about how much they spent on those. How much Cody spent on the Valentine's Day gifts for her,
Oh
like
yeah,
four
yeah.
thousand
From
dollars.
David Yurman, yeah.
So, and that's the other part of it too is what economic bracket are you in
Yeah.
to spend that amount of money? And again, I would love to see, like, how are you doing any of this? I don't, but they really, I wonder if they're in a tremendous amount of debt. No, they
Yeah,
couldn't
because
be.
look, this
If they
is
bought that house, there's no way they could have gotten a loan if their credit was terrible or they're in a lot of
well,
debt.
there's creative financing, and I don't know, maybe maybe they put down the minimum. I don't know. I This is the thing, but Cody has always found a way to rob Peter to pay Paul, and he's always
Yeah.
found a way to get what he wants, despite not, here's this man whose, children barely have enough to eat, and he's driving around in a convertible,
Mhm.
with his nice crisp shirts, and, you know, there was always a disconnect between
Yeah.
Cody's lifestyle and what the family had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're probably in a lot of debt. Look, this is TLC. They don't pay a ton of money. How long can this show really go on?
Mhm.
He's just being fiscally irresponsible by spending 6,000. Like, was a necklace and earrings. I think it was like 6,000 total for
Oh, really? Because I thought, like,
four to six
one was, like,
thousand.
1,500 and then the other one was 2,500 or something like that.
It w
But
Okay,
but
maybe 4,000, but I'm sorry, it's Valentine's Day,
yeah,
and
again,
you've
I
been
have
married a long time. It's
yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, this is what millionaires, billionaires will do. That makes sense. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, I've never exchanged a gift with Steve that expensive for Valentine's Day. I
Mm-mm.
mean, the things that expensive, you need to talk to the person.
Yeah, 'cause they're spending your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mary goes into this whole Robin relationship, right? They were very close in the beginning, but then they drifted apart and they were trying to work on rebuilding their friendship. But then COVID happened and they never got it back. And Sukanya is like, well, why do you think Robin was crying on the moving day? And Mary's like, well, yeah, she realized it was over, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Mary wasn't directly saying that, but I think it was like she realized that, yeah, the money that she was bringing in, everything over,
Mhm. All of it.
over,
Yeah.
all of it over. And again, the other thing that they're not saying is that again, the show itself and keeping the show going
Mhm.
is also a big factor of all of this. And again, Cody and Robin are the only ones that, I mean, I know Cody does the gun sales and all of that, but like they don't have besides that, I don't think they have other side hustles. I don't think they're doing anything else. So I think there's a lot of anxiety and fear around like,
Mhm.
will the show continue to work?
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
so Robin says that when Mary moved, oh, that's right. So Robin now is taking the position of, well, I've been dumped by Mary. When she moved, we talked about getting together, we talked about connecting, and I saw that she was going to be here in town, and I reached out to her, and I called her, and I didn't get a response back, and um, you know, well,
Yeah.
I don't know, poor me.
Yeah, poor
I'm
me.
such a good friend. I've been
Yeah.
reaching out to her, even though we lived in the same town and I never reached out to her. But now
Mhm.
that she's moved away, I've
Yeah.
been reaching out to her, and I
Knowing
guess she
that she
doesn't,
can't Yeah, knowing she's really not gonna have to get together with you because she doesn't
yeah,
even live in the same town.
yeah. And then this is where Christine gets into the whole thing. Again, I really hope Christine talks about this in her book, where she's like, she flat out says it. She's like, Mary, was led on. This whole time, Robin is there telling Mary that Cody is still in love with you. And, here's Mary, who she was like good for her friends. Her friends were telling her the truth.
Mhm.
And of course, Cody has to then rip on Jen
Mhm.
because Jen is jealous of Robin.
What?
Because
Uh,
Robin isn't a threat. She is safe.
okay.
All right.
Whatever that
So
means.
again, you put down those who encourage, again,
Mary.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mary. So Mary's friends that encourage her to be herself, stand on her own 2 feet, love herself, are jealous of Robin. But Robin, who says you should stay put,
Mhm.
even though you two know Cody, she shouldn't.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. So Christine goes into this whole thing of like Robin was manipulating Mary. It was very hard to watch those scenes. Um, and I think she says, was Robin a good sister wife because she kept telling Mary to keep holding on, right? What does it mean to be a good friend? If you are truly a good sister wife and a good friend to someone, do you seeing that situation,
Mhm.
what do you do?
Yeah, you tell them to stay in a situation that they're obviously miserable and being treated disrespectfully. That's not a good sister wife.
Yeah. So then Mary talks about how, right, and this is Mary's worthying up. It's
Mhm.
happening, people. It's all coming together because she said, I'm sick of taking the blame. Because I guess it sounds like was this where he called her up again and wanted to have like a whole wanted to kind of, I think she talked about this last time where Kody called her up and kind of started dumping on her and she was like, I'm not your
Yeah.
wife anymore. You got to back up.
He was having a hard
Um
time, processing
yeah.
their
But Mary's
divorce.
like, I kept taking the blame for everything. And, she was pissed. It sounds like with that goodbye that Robin was putting this on me.
Mhm.
Like, so now take all this unhappiness and also right that feeling of it took a lot for Mary to make this decision. She's moving, it's emotional. And then Robin coming and
Mhm.
basically saying, almost reminding her of it and almost like again putting the responsibility back on Mary of like you're leaving the family, you're
Yeah.
going. Anywho, and so basically Mary's like, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not going to be your punching bag. All right, so now we get to the luggage rack
Mhm.
situation. And so Janelle, so they all ask about the luggage rack, and Janelle was laughing, and she's like, yeah, when Christine and I were comparing notes, it was really funny. And Janelle says, this is a token, right? This is really showing you who he is and how he thinks.
Mhm.
Um, and again, Cody's like, Janelle will always be jealous of Robin. And then he goes into this whole thing about how when Christine and I got married, there was no luggage rack. We were in a car. We were in a four-door sedan. And Sukani is like, yeah, but did you not stay at a hotel or a motel? He's like, yeah, we stayed at a hotel motel. And she's like, okay. And did they have a luggage rack? Like he could not even,
He didn't even know what she was he thought she was
yeah,
talking about a luggage rack on a car.
yeah, yeah.
I guess
Um,
he didn't want listen to the show very carefully because they
no.
clearly talked about how Janelle had to put her suitcase on the floor.
Yes.
So
So, and then he goes, and then again, no accountability, no willingness to say, yeah, I guess I was selfish with them. I didn't even realize it. You could just say, I didn't even realize it. I
mhm.
didn't. But then he goes into this whole thing of like, well, I really hope they find happiness because the constant comparison is going to ruin their lives. Cody just read that quote from Teddy Roosevelt that comparison is the thief of joy. And so he's decided that these women are so petty and so they're such losers and they're so jealous and they're so petty that they care about a luggage rack. And even Robin's like, "Ugh, this is so stupid." And he asks, well, do you get the luggage rack? Yes, she does.
Yeah, that's why she doesn't get it.
Yeah. Um, so let's see. And then Mary talks about like, I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain. I comparing Cody to other men. Um, and then this, I think at the end, they're kind of getting into this whole thing about, Cody was talking about like, why is Christine and Mary too? Why is Christine complaining to David about Cody? Is that healthy? Is that they're sort of judging her for that?
Mhm.
Again, I think they're trying to make a good freaking show for us. I think Christine's
Yeah.
thinking about like,
What
well,
else
what's entertaining to
Yeah,
people?
what else do we have to talk about? And also too, Christine has the right to tell her new husband about her past and paint a picture for him so that he
Hmm.
can understand what she's been through, where she's coming from, help to know her better. And yeah, and hello, Cody, like you and Robin don't talk about everybody.
Hmm.
You don't, I mean, please. and you're on a show, you have to provide content. What
Yes.
are we supposed to just all sit here and stare at you while you all
Yes.
say nothing and don't say anything about anybody else?
Yeah, we need to watch your stage scenes.
Yeah.
And again, what have we gotten from you? You guys assembled a dresser?
Yeah, oh, a
You've
vanity, a
a
vanity.
vanity? I'm sorry, you painted some
You painted some
benches?
picnic tables.
You 2 in your in your upscale casual outfits, you've been doing gardening?
They went
Right,
to
like
Josephine's a few times,
yeah, and that's it. That's all we've seen.
and they went to Cody, Wyoming.
Yes.
No, they're every single one of their things is staged. There was a episode, I think it might have, I don't know if it was this season or last season, where they're all playing some board game downstairs
Yes,
in the,
yes, yes, in this tiny little room they're all crammed
yeah, because they
into.
didn't want to film in the big living room with all the, that
Expensive art.
expensive art on the wall. So, yeah, they don't show us anything, they don't give us anything. Like, if it weren't for these other women willing to talk and bring it and actually truthfully show us what they're doing and they're because they all are.
Mhm.
Even Mary, I mean, she is she is showing us what she's doing,
Yeah,
she's putting it out there. They're not showing us anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. I didn't write down what's happening next week because I was like, "Oh god, how much more?" I
I
mean,
couldn't take it anymore.
where are we going with this? Why do we need 4?
I don't
I
know.
don't understand.
There better be like some zingers next week. Because if they drag this out for 4 episodes, they better finish strong.
Yeah, there has to be something because usually if there's 4 reunions, it means that something major happened
Yeah.
on the last episode or something or so yes, you're absolutely right. There needs to be a big finish. There needs to be
Mhm.
something good. And I personally, I think the best thing that could happen to the show is another production company takes over, someone who is not so close with Cody. And I have heard from some people the saying that apparently there are new producers
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
aren't
I
as
don't think
close to
Tim
Cody.
Yeah, I don't think Tim Gibbons is involved any longer. I
Yeah.
think it's a new production company, but I'm not 100% sure. That's just
So what
what
I
I've
don't
heard.
understand is why can't this production company say, listen, this is a reality show and the show is
Mhm.
really about this family and the family interacting. I know everyone lives in different places, but you all have to be in the same room with each other,
Mhm.
or you all have to go out to dinner. You have to meet with Nancy, the therapist again. Like, why? I don't understand that. Like, these producers have a lot of power. So why, then you're all going to refuse to
Well, the
do
thing
that?
is they need more characters. They need to get more of the adult children involved.
Yes, that's true.
So now that Janelle's up there, she's living with Maddie and Caleb. So they're there. I think Peyton moved to North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I don't know if he's close to them or where he's living. And McKelty and Tony moved there, but they live in a different town. But I mean,
wait. McKelty and Tony moved to North Carolina
yeah,
too?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So they have a
Oh,
bunch of
wow.
family there now. So production wise, because that's another thing. It's expensive to have to be filming in all these different locations and stuff.
Mhm.
So they have enough people there. And like if they can get Janelle and Christine's adult children to kind of participate more.
Mhm.
Husband is about to have a baby, like there's a storyline. You know what I mean? We gotta
Mhm.
gotta do because it is kind of fizzling out because the family is just not
Yeah.
this big family anymore.
Well, no, you're right because the adults they need to start paying these kids because it's
Mhm.
not fair that you haven't been paying them. And right, I would like to see Savannah. She's now in North Carolina.
She's in North
How
Carolina too, yeah.
yeah, what is your life like? Like I would love to hear from her about what are you doing? How is school? What's it like for you? Do you miss flag stuff? Like also, her brother and everything that they've been through. Like
Mhm.
I just would want I mean, that's interesting. I would like to hear about how those kids are doing and how everyone's doing. So, listen, maybe the whole show will be all just in North Carolina. Who
Yeah,
knows?
but I don't know to what extent these adult children even wanna be on the show anymore or be involved anymore. I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
I saw a weird clip of McKelty and Tony doing their Patreon, and what they were basically doing is they were watching, I don't know if it was one of the episodes or one of the tell-alls, and Avalon is sitting there with them, and she's, like, pointing at the TV, she's going, "Who's that? Who's that?" And McKelty had this real weird dour look on her face, like, real
Mhm.
solemn, and she's like, "Oh, that's grandpa." And she's like, "Grandpa?" And,
David?
yeah, exactly. Because I couldn't see what was on the TV screen, so I'm not sure exactly what was on there,
Mhm.
who it even was. But and then she said the name Kody, and, she's like, "Kody." She turns to McKelty and she says, "Do you remember Kody?" I mean, it was like this really, like,
Mm.
innocent, and then she turns to Tony, she's like, "Do you remember Kody?" I mean, it was just like, what is happening here? And a lot of people were criticizing her for, why are you subjecting your child to this? Clearly, Avalon doesn't even know what's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if they should be watching this show with her. Um, and, they were sort of semi commenting. I don't know. It was weird. It was
I mean, is she
strange.
giving any juice? Because I used to watch some Gwen's,
Hmm.
but it was just so hard. It was like, where's the juice? Like, where's
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
the meaty details? And I think that's the problem is, right, the show is not gonna pay you, so you have to have some other thing going on, like a
Hmm.
podcast or a Patreon or something like that, right? To see this as, "Okay, this is free publicity to get people to do this over here, so
Hmm.
then I'm willing to show up on the show." But, yeah, it's how much do you reveal or not reveal?
Yeah.
Um, because it does get sticky and you don't know what these relationships are gonna be like 5, 10 years from now, you and Cody could make up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's what people like, that's the direction that everyone would like to see it move in. No one wants this family to be like this, but
Mm-mm.
anyway. Oh, what a
Mm,
show.
what a
So,
show. Okay, one
we
more
have
week.
one more episode and then we still don't know what we're doing after that. We don't know if we're going to go back to our rewind or if we're going to pick something else.
Well, we're gonna fit.
Or
We just started, and just like that.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think maybe we're gonna do that until it runs its course, and yeah, then after that, I don't know. We could go back to the Sister Wives rewatch.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm feeling like I need a break from
Yeah. I
Cody.
really need a break from Cody and Robin.
So
Um
we'll see. See what kind of
yeah.
shows are out there. I don't know. Love is Blind might be coming back, or
Ooh, Love is
one of
Blind.
our other favorite shows we like to cover.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So if you enjoy, and just like that, that's dropping the same day as these episodes, right? Mondays.
They drop Sunday or Monday,
Yeah,
but, we'll probably do them on Mondays, like,
going
after
forward.
Sister Wives wraps up.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
yeah.
Thursdays we do documentaries and um true crime, but other documentaries. And so please, continue to tune in and
Yes.
let us know what you think about continuing on the Sister Wives journey.
Yeah,
If there's a
with the rewinds,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you're really into it, we'll rally. If you feel you need a break from Cody, that's understandable.
Yeah. Maybe we all collectively, especially if they're coming back in the fall, we will all definitely need to take a Cody detox
Yeah,
for the summer.
yeah.
That's for sure. So, yeah, okay.
Mm.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't already heard, but we're on YouTube. Woo! We
Woohoo.
are now part of the. Is it? Is this the 21st century?
Yeah, we're still in the 21st
Are we
century.
still in the 21st
Yes.
century? Because I heard so much about the 21st century for so long, and then it's like, are we here now?
Yeah, we're here now. We've been here for
And
25 years.
yes. Oh my God, that's
So
insane.
we have 75 more to go till the next till the 22nd century. I don't think I'll be alive.
No, no. All these people are like, I want to live to be 100 and something. I'm like,
Oh,
oh dear God, I'm exhausted now. Like, what more?
yeah.
um, Yes. So, I don't know what I was talking about. I was wrapping
About
things up.
YouTube, how
So,
we're so hip
oh, YouTube. We're
because
on
we're on
YouTube.
we're
That's right.
so hip.
Yeah, I can't remember anything. Um, yes, we're on YouTube now, and we're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Blue Sky. So check us out there as well. We, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really do appreciate those. Please tell a friend about it, subscribe so that you get all the downloads every week. And if you want even more of us, you can check out our Patreon. We do a You get all these shows ad free, plus you get a weekly bonus, plus there are some extra things for our higher tier, the $8 tier. Plus, if if you're not a Patreon person, I actually just there's different ways to support us. You can buy a collection or a bundle. All of we do these exclusive true crime episodes for our Patreon people, and you can purchase like 7 of them for
Mhm.
$5 if you want to listen to all of those. We divided up all I did this recently, like the Love is Blind and those seasons, so you could get those ad free, all that stuff. So there's different ways of doing it, but go check us out on Patreon. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank
Okay.
you so much,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
All right. Bye.